ROI because I went through a little bit of something similar when it came to measuring it, and I found that, we think about profits, yes, but I found that it definitely is more related to my time. And I think one of the easiest ways that you can really get a lot of that back is to start charging what you're worth. 100%. I was doing consulting for a long time, undervalued a lot of my own services, but you definitely find bigger ROIs, especially when you're running a whole agency where you need to start paying people a little bit more and take that more seriously. But with that being said, just start charging your services so much more. And that's how I found definitely more of an improvement. But um, we can definitely go more into detail as we go through this space. But I just want to give a few shout outs to some people. I see we got Andy, welcome. We got Christelle, Endless Summer, 40 times 50 newsletter you got going on as well, TVD and Austin. Appreciate y'all for being here and welcome to this amazing space we're about to have. Oh, and we just had Jadelle join.
Thanks, and thanks, Kat, for co-hosting. And yeah, you guys on this Friday. Yeah, for me this morning, I needed another break. I've been putting it here as this new head of marketing role. It's oh man, it's a lot. Let me just tell you, it's a lot, and we're rebuilding the team. So yeah, you know, it's been pretty exhausting, honestly. But I'm a Ronin, I'm a Ronin, but even Ronins get tired, so I'm pretty tired, honestly. So looking forward to finishing the week strong here. But Andy, let's check in with you. How you
Tired,
doing?
tired is good. Tired dogs are happy dogs. Tired men are happy men. Bored men are terrible. Bored men become disasters in a crazy way of the world and a blight on society. So run your dogs till they're tired and panting, and they will be the happiest dogs near you. And the same thing with men. Work them hard. That's my philosophy. I might be wrong, but I mean, I'll wait.
Yeah, no, I love that philosophy, Andy, for sure. And yeah, there's no.
Boys too. If you have boys, teenage boys, little kid boys, run those little suckers, man. I used to help coach soccer, and my whole thing was run them, coach, run them hard. And he's like, why? I'm like, because in the fourth quarter or the second half, like with 10 minutes left, all the other kids are going to be slowing down, but our kids won't. And if you run them hard and they come home tired after every practice, you're going to have a better team.
1,000% agree. Yeah, 1,000%. And yeah, listen, guys, I'm just happy to be spending some time with you guys here. And yeah, the room's filling up here, so please like and repost the space. And yeah, I appreciate the coaching this morning, Andy. I definitely needed it today. I definitely needed it. So even coaches have coaches, right? And there's something to be said about having powerful coaches. So yeah, I consider you a coach, Andy. I consider you my coach, whether you know it or not, like it or not. But I consider a lot of you guys coaches for me, honestly, at the end of the day. So yeah, great to have you guys aboard. Please request the mic. Please like and repost the space. We're going to be getting to, how are you measuring your ROI? Now, there's two measurements to ROI, right? So there's return on investment, right? But then there's also what I like to call the return on influence. Okay, and it's not talked about enough. So keep in mind that yes, you can have return on an investment, right? If I spend $100 on ads, am I getting $100 back? Am I not getting anything back? Am I $200 from the hundred
Hey,
dollars
hey,
spent,
Justin,
right?
you're
That's
starting to. Hey, Justin, you're starting to rubber band. Your audio's going in and out a little bit every now and then. Maybe if you've got some headsets, maybe they're running out of juice or something.
okay. Can you hear me now?
Yep, much better.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, so there's really two forms of ROI, like the return on investment from a marketing cost, but then there's also return on influence. which, these days, return on influence, we all have what I like to call social capital or social equity, right? That went up here. And just like you deposit that into a bank, right? You're making deposits into your social capital or your social equity. And then at times you may need to make withdrawals, right? So what does that look like? Well, you can, for example, let's say I reach out to Christelle and I'm like, hey, I want to do a webinar with you, Christelle, and I would love to collaborate, right? So now you're tapping into that relationship capital for collaborations and for business, and so don't discount your return on influence, a very powerful metric. So those are two main things that we really need to consider. Return on investment from the actual money spent or money invested, but then your return on influence. So we're going to be breaking it down more here, guys. So great to have you guys aboard. I see Jodelle with her awesome new PFP out there. That's a great, great, great new PFP, Jodelle. We got Endless, John Carlos. Hope you're doing well, brother. Good to see you. We got Timo on stage. We got Avni, TBD, Alex. Harsh is out there. Hey, Harsh. Good to see you. I hope all is well. We got Ali, Liana. Liana, good to see you. We got Jeremy and also Ask. So, yeah, great to have you guys aboard. Please raise your hands if you want to speak. We'd love to hear from you. And yeah, let's check in with Timo. Timo, how you doing?
Hey, good morning to you guys. It's been a lazy day, kind of because no work today. Just enjoying the Christian holiday here, Long Friday, or what's it called? Good Friday uh, in English. Yeah, as always, out in the woods, getting some photons and fresh air, and yeah, being doing the finishing touches on the upcoming article number 25, and it's coming up with again another uh, prompt to do yourself a coach. But yeah, it's been fun day, but here to just enjoy. And when it comes to ROI, return of influence, yeah, that's a you've been talking about it too, but yeah, it's kind of it's harder to measure. But obviously, just like you said, if you get collabs with people and work together as groups, find like-minded people who are doing the same thing, that is definitely something. But it's harder to measure. Well, now we got the new analytics on Spaces, so if you haven't checked that out already, do it, because well, Justin, I guess you're gonna be running hot on those. Uh, but yeah, good topic. Happy Friday, everyone, and yeah, let's enjoy the show.
Yeah, good stuff, Timo, and thank you for that reminder about the new Spaces analytics. I'll put a link to the purple pill in the purple pill here. I was on X last night, and KSJ, who many of you know, she's pretty big on X, big account, and I'm connected with her, and she posted, and I saw the post, and yeah, now in analytics, which Timo's a big data guy, I'm a big data guy, and now you can actually see what the analytics are of how many people watched your space, how many people requested the mic. So yeah, X is improving, and I think it was about a month ago, even in analytics on the paid ad side, excuse me, you can actually see way more. Well, it's more visually appealing. The data was already there, but it's more visually appealing now and easier to look at the metrics and interpret some of those key metrics, right? So But yeah, good stuff, Timo. Glad you're enjoying your weekend, and I think you're on an extended extended vacation. I need a vacation. I really need a vacation, and so it's hard to take vacations when you start a new job, right? That doesn't really make sense. So, um, but I will be taking some time off this summer. I'm gonna start planning it now with the family. Yeah, over to you, Timo. Go for it.
You would be amazed with the Gen Z that is doing pretty awesome stuff on the work life uh, ecosystem. They are very, very tough on any like entitlement bullying in workplaces. The good old boys clubs are getting hit on, but there's also the I've been in 2 interviews now as an observer and interviewer where actually the person has asked when is the time when I can start downshifting and go for a vacation. So, you know, it's times are changing. So you never know. Maybe you should have just asked straight up in the interview that, hey, I think I need a vacation right up.
So there's a big gap between Timo
Justin,
and
you're
then
rugging out
I
again.
mostly
Optimus
I
work.
don't know if
Prime.
that's just me or not. Yeah.
Okay, jump in for a second, Kevin. Jump in, Kevin.
Hey, Kevin, did you want to jump in?
Wait, what's going on? Why am I jumping in? I can't hear Justin whatsoever.
Yeah, Justin said jump in for a bit. I think he's going for some better reception or something.
Probably going with some internet as well.
He might be working on his
Yeah,
might
I've
be
just
working on
been
his headset.
yeah, I've just been working in the background as well, so I'm not like super attentive, just here to really help. But yeah, guys, make sure you guys, if you guys are finding this space very informative, you guys repost, come up here. We got some amazing speakers up here, as well as I will say, if you guys are interested within the Startup Circle community, we're trying to grow our moderation team. So for anybody who is interested, we had actually Summer. Um, Become a part of the community moderation team as well. So if that is something that you guys are interested in, please feel free to let me know. It gives you guys opportunities to run your own spaces in the community, which is amazing for leverage, and it gets you all other sort of benefits and perks as well. So just let me know. We'll talk detail and then let you guys know moving forward as well. Andy, you got anything else you want to jump in with?
Yeah, how I measure ROI is pretty simple. I imagine whatever amount of effort I do as what my billing rate is. So if it's probably not the best way to do it because it's limiting based on what I've done in the past, but it's a good way to get started. And the way I get started is to say, this is how much I want to make per month. And that is this number of hours and, or per day, let's say a day rate. And then you take your hour rate and you say there's 24 hours in a day, but you usually work 8 of them. So you can take 1/3 of your day rate and then you can squeeze it down into a small number. If you want to make $1 million a year, it's 2,739 and change per day, 365 days. There are 366 days on some years, but let's just say it's $2,400 a day, US dollars. You want to make €1,000,000, it's 2,740 euros a day. If you take that, you divide it by 8, you're looking at roughly $300 a day, right? So, and a little change. If you can make $300 in the hour you're working on, you're a millionaire. If you can do that 24 hours a day, you're a millionaire. That's the way I look at it. It's pretty simple to calculate things backwards as far as the revenue goes. A little more challenging to do things on return on investment. So your investment is time. Um, so you need at the result, you need a time multiplier, and then you need some kind of financial multiplier, right? So if you start with I'm going to put in an hour in this space today. Is it going to benefit me 100 hours or 1,000 hours or 1,000,000 hours in the future? That's a way to measure ROI. That's the way I typically look at it. I invest time in establishing my personal brand, my voice, the authority, the ability to provide value in other people's minds. And then eventually when I hit on things that provide value, they reach out and ask me for more of it. And then I provide more value. And that's kind of the investment that I've done over the last 6 months by just bringing up the value that I think is important to people and finding stuff that actually works and resonates. When I find more of it, when I find it works, I do more. And that's how I'm measuring, is it worth it for me to spend my time doing this? So that's the way I look at it. I don't know, it's probably not the best method, but it's a method, and you can look at it too. And if it goes bad, I'll just blame Justin. Oh, you're still rubber banding, Justin. Let's go to Timo or Alex.
Hi guys. Maybe I just go. Hope you guys can hear me. Wonderful space. I'm just chilling and obviously listening. I wanted to ask for feedback, probably, but that might derail this space into another. It's about like sales and marketing structure for my building public community. So I wanted feedback regarding that. But obviously, we're talking about ROI now, so maybe later, and yeah, just comment and
No, it's okay. Go ahead. I mean, Kevin built the Startup Circle. There's over 3,500 members. Timo, Justin, and I, and others are. Ask your question away. We've got all the community folks here right now.
Okay. So literally, so I've got my develop your community where we are basically right now on Discord where we are building in public, right? So over like the past like few months, we have officially kicked off two projects, right? And it's been crazy managing like a whole lot of like 100 and I think 20 people. Right now, we are already launching our official website and launching our official I think that's from Justin, right?
Are we losing the
Can you
space?
guys hear me? Can you
What
hear
the
me?
heck was
We can hear
that?
you. Looks like you're back. Okay.
You
Okay, so we might lose the space depending on if Justin really connected or not. Alex, so you have a developer community, and for the past 3 months you've been growing, is that right?
Yeah, so I hope Justin gets his internet fixed. But my question basically just to not to talk for too long, just to summarize, is right now we are about to launch a product, and I wanted a feedback on how to exactly get that product out there because it's going to be our official first community project, and we are planning on getting investors into the project. It's a bot, right? And I do not know how to do the sales or marketing for that. I'm just a tech guy. I'm the one who does the coding, and the rest of the guys who do the coding. So I don't know the approach basically to get that sales and marketing side up and running. So that's my question.
So the primary way to launch a product is to find people who have an urgent need, get them to pre-buy what you want to buy, and then um, fill that need. Or what you've done is create a product. So if you have a product, you need to find. I'm getting thumbs down from everybody. Are you guys hearing me?
I can hear you. I can hear you totally fine.
Okay. Okay.
We are here together, Andy, Andy, me, and Alex.
Oh God, I just
Maybe
got the screen of death.
Oh, oh no. Okay.
Somebody's gonna relaunch, so if we lose this,
Yeah, Justin just pinged me, said he was going to a better place. Okay, so let's go to Alex. Okay, Alex. So if you have a product, the first thing you need to do is tell people what they get what's the benefit of getting it, not what the product is. Hey, I've got a car outside. It's got 4 wheels and a steering wheel. I can close the door and stay inside, and it keeps me warm and cool and out of the rain. Nobody cares. You know what it is, hey, this one's really cool. It looks great. It'll get you here and there. It costs this much money. It's the benefit. Always give them the takeaway of what they get for the product. Okay. So if you're launching a new AI tool, it's like, hey, it's faster than this. It does this. It gives you good answers. It gives you good stuff. Uh, Come in. Our steaks are better. Our food's better. Or whatever. Right. It's always about the takeaway, the experience, what you benefit from using the tool or the product. So that's the best way to launch it. I'll tell you, here's the way we do this. Join the start here. I'm going to use it. Join the startup circle. There are tons of spaces, tons of quality people. You're going to be able to find out all kinds of information about AI and how to be successful in sales and marketing, how to be successful when you're young or old or whatever. There are spaces 24 hours a day. We have people all over the world. You're never going to be alone. There's always going to be somebody nearby who can listen and answer to you. So join the startup circle because it's a group of people that are like you and will help you get to where you want to go. It's about the benefit. Startup circle is just a button you push. It's easy, but it's
Yeah,
about the
most
benefit.
definitely. And I'm already in the setup circle. I'm not sure if you know. So I'm already
No,
joining
I
the
was
group,
using
right?
Alex, I was
And
using it as an example of what to sell. Selling the
oh,
benefit of joining the startup circle instead of the startup circle.
so more like pushing the benefits of the application before that would get users involved.
Yes, what problem does the application solve?
And pre-sell it like before, even if you pretty much know what it's gonna be, just hype it up and see if you get interest, because if it's not ready yet, you can still like scrap it or do changes depending on what people are saying about it. So always don't spend time polishing it to the amazingness what it's gonna be, the end product. Hype it up and do pre-launch queue for the product. Give those who are ready to buy pre-buy some benefits and whatnot. So there's a whole bunch of things, and depending on what it is, you can always use product hunt, but that's super competitive. So I don't know. You can try just launch within the X communities or whatever. We are obviously here to support. When you launch, we'll be putting up that product on the website and whatnot. So yeah, those are my. Justin is back. It seems.
Yes, can you guys hear me now?
Yep.
Awesome, amazing. Well, thanks guys for bearing with me for a second. Um, so yeah, like let me just remind people, like people don't care how much you know until they know how much you care, and people buy emotionally and then they rationalize it logically. So if you can tap into, yes, they have a problem, yes, you're going to help them solve it, but how are you appealing to their emotions, right? Like there's a lot of emotional buyers out there, so how are you catering to that, right? And what transformation are they going to achieve working with you, right? So that's a big indicator. And then to Timo's point, yes, that's the pro tip. If you can do some sort of pre-launch, because look, majority of launches, majority of campaigns, majority of offers out there, majority of them fail. Okay, that's just the data, right? And so what you have to do is you have to continuously iterate and put things out there. And when you find things that resonate, then you triple down on that, right? You triple down on that. So that's the process, that's the method. And look, it can take multiple webinars, it can take multiple campaigns, it can take multiple paid ads, it can take multiple emails, it can take multiple spaces for you to really hit something and build something. That's why return on influence is a long game, right? The return on investment, it can be a long game, right? And so there's more immediate return on investment things with like paid ads, but then there's more long-term strategies around return on influence that have to be taken into consideration. So, um, And don't over-engineer things, right? Don't over-engineer the launch. Don't over-engineer the offer, the pre-launch. Just keep it as simple as you can, right? I can't tell you how many campaigns that, you know, I've consulted on. I'm like, look, guys, like this is super complicated. This is not gonna get buyers, okay? Like there's browsers and there's buyers, right? So there's browsers, which those typically don't buy, and then there's buyers. And the data tells us that if you can convert 1 to 2% of people, right, you're doing a good job, right? Those are the numbers. If you convert more than those types of people, more than 1 to 2%, you're doing a great job, right? You're doing a great job. But typically it's like 1 to 2%. So keep those metrics in mind. Let's go to Christelle. Christelle, how are you doing? I would love to do a little coaching session if you're open to it.
Hi, Justin. Yes, of course. I'm always open to that. Good Friday. Happy Good Friday, everyone. Jodelle, I love your new PFP, girlfriend, and I want to know how you got your blue check mark so fast. That's good. I'm glad you didn't lose it. Okay, so I was listening to Alex, and this is such a common issue for people that are building and developing and creating. So, Alex, I want you to know like you're in a good spot and you're in a great place because this community is going to really be able to support you. So, please keep showing up. So I'm on my way to my third networking event this week. I'm so proud of myself. Two have been in person, but I met a guy the other day at the first networking event that I went to, and he built this amazing app, which is basically like a social photo sharing app when you're at an event. And so I'm over here trying to find people to connect him with. But Alex, he's having the same problem that you're having and many developers have, which is they built something amazing but the marketing isn't there. It's a marketing issue. People don't know about it. You don't have people to test it, give you feedback. So I'm going to say what I say all the time. This is why community is so important. It's not just about the fluff, it's about having people that will actually be there when you need to give feedback. Like I'm plugged into the Startup Circle community. If I were to come out with an app or a new course or anything, I mean, you saw Andy came out with his boot camp and boom, he had 10 people sign up like instantly. I gave him 5 people. I was like, I think these 5 people would be great to reach out to just off the top of my head. And these were all people, part of the Startup Circle or Revenue Ronins or Edu creators. So not only starting your own community, but being a part of communities, you will always have people on hand. So this is what I recommend to start a community. And by the way, I just have to shout out Ani who's here. She's amazing with community and Summer's also amazing. Our community baby daddy is here, John Carlos. Good to see you, Andy, Kevin and Timo as well, and Harsh. And fifth column, you're someone that I'm starting to see around and I really appreciate your support. So I'm going to wrap this up by saying this, Alex. Find 5 to 10 people that really need the product that you're creating. And if you're not sure, then one of the best ways to do this is create a very simple landing page with a wait list where you describe what Andy's saying, the actual problem that you're solving, what the benefits are, and then go around and share that link. And look, if I can build a landing page in less than 15 minutes and I'm not a web developer, I'm sure you can throw together a very basic, simple, like 3 block landing page. Okay, make it basic. The most important thing is that you have a way to collect emails. And then you take those people and you serve them. Maybe give them a workshop where you're actually showing them what you're building, ask their questions, get their feedback, give them a survey. Build yourself a nano community to start with. I'm talking about 5 to 10 people. That is all you need. But please don't build without knowing who exactly you're building for, what they actually need, because they're going to come up with features and benefits that you didn't even think of. And that is the magic of having a community that so many people never discover because we're naturally just in our own minds and we have our vision. But once you start sharing that vision, get other people involved in the vision, I'm telling you, that's when the magic happens. And as I land my plane, I just have to say on this Good Friday that the investment that you get in building a relationship with Jesus Christ, our Lord and Savior, is eternal life forever and ever and ever. So I hope that everyone here makes that investment because it's the greatest investment that you can ever make. So why not make it? All right, that's my closing. Thank you so much, Justin. Much love, everyone.
Yeah, much love, Christelle. Thank you for those pro tips. And yeah, I'll just add on that the two most powerful questions you can ask people, prospects, is, hey, I'm looking for some feedback, right? Because again, you're not selling, right? You're asking for feedback. And then the follow up, right? These are the most two biggest things you can do when it comes to prospecting and sales and business development, and especially if you're building a product like you, Alex, is ask for feedback, right? Because everyone wants to share their feedback, right? Everyone wants to typically do that. If you can get, and look, it's not a lot of time. Look, I'm just looking for like 5 or 10 minutes of your time. I'm just looking for some feedback, and boom, like, companies pay a lot of money for people to test their products, test their services, right? They send them gift cards, they do surveys, right? They pay money for people to test this stuff, right? So there's a time element, right? So what you have to do is really tap into that. Hey, I really need some feedback here. I'd really appreciate some feedback. And then if they do that, how are you got to answer also, what's in it for me, right? This is the most powerful statement you can answer with marketing and sales. It's what's in it for me, right? If you can answer that question for them, so if they do give the feedback, what are you going to give them in return, right? Because they're spending time. The time is the most valuable asset, right? And then the follow up, right? The follow up, those two F words, feedback and follow up. And so, yeah, let's check in with the next hand here. I don't see any hands up, but yeah, Christelle, feel free to come off mic, and if you want to do a little coaching on some email open rates or whatever, I'm happy to do that, and I think it'd be valuable for everyone. So yeah, just let me know.
Well, I do see Summer's hand, so I would, but I see Summer's hand, and I know sometimes you don't see hands.
Okay, awesome, thank you. Yeah, Summer, let's go to you.
Hi, good morning, Justin, Kevin, Andy, Christelle. Thank you so much for telling Justin, Timo, everyone in the space, Jodelle, Giancarlos, our baby daddy, not my baby daddy, someone else's baby daddy. And I wanted to say that, first of all, happy Good Friday to everyone, an important day for us that believe in something higher than ourselves. So that's definitely the best return on investment. I see Giancarlo's is cracking up. And I wanted to say that after that, which is the best return on investment that we have, the other one would be in quality of life. And I go to Kevin that said this. The time you have, the possibility that you have to spend quality time with your family, with your friends, or even by yourself. That's I think, and also on your lifestyle, and that's the best thing that you can have, because there's work, it's important, but in the end, we are here to live a good, purposeful, and meaningful life, and for that we have to have time for it. And the other thing that I wanted to say is I'm not going to talk about my experience just because my experience wouldn't be the best to tell here, but I hope that one day I can come and say it. I wanted to talk to what Alex was saying, and I wanted to say very important what I even wrote it down. Selling first the benefit, not the product. And that's a very important thing. Sometimes we hear it and we just gloss over it. But that's really important. Just highlight what is it going to solve and what benefits it's going to bring to yourself and or to the client, most definitely. The other thing that I wanted also to say is go and launch and pitch your app, your product wherever you can. There are spaces for it. I actually think the startup circle should have maybe a monthly space on launching products, because that's a great way for people to know what you're doing, what you're launching. And there are other communities as well. I can think of the Think Tank Innovators Community, I think that's the name. But here also, or in other spaces that are relevant, come and pitch your product, tell us about it, take 1 minute, 2 minutes, and launch about it. We got to know now that you have a product, but I'm pretty sure that there are other communities that would enjoy and love to hear about it, give their feedback. So I would say that the other way to do that is just pitch a product on Spaces and other communities, and don't just stick to the web develop a community, go to other spaces that are a little bit different, because your clients most likely are on other places that are not exactly the one where you are. So that would be my contribution for today. Happy Good Friday to everyone, and I'll be seeing you around.
Yeah, thank you, Summer. Happy Good Friday to you. Thanks for the insight and wisdom as always. And yeah, like there's the online aspect and then there's the offline. And I'm happy to hear that Christelle's doing a lot of offline stuff because the face-to-face stuff like works, right? And it speeds up the process even more when you can just meet up with people, grab a business lunch. It's a write-off for you. Meet with people offline and talk about how your products and services can help them help their business, save them time, save them money, help them drive more revenue, right? Like and getting that feedback from people offline is really powerful. So don't discount that because that's how a lot of things got started for me back in the day is all the offline aspect. And the online stuff, of course. um, there's other communities that you can tap into, right? To Summer's point, you can reach out to the community owner and let them know like, hey, I'm coming up with this product or service. I'd really love to get some feedback and would love to share what I'm working on. And generally speaking, people are pretty open to that as long as you got to understand the context of the community, right? So there's the 7 C's framework. It's community, context to that community, communications, content creation, consistency, conversion, right? That's the 7 C's framework. So as long as you have some good context to that community, then it makes sense and it's a nice progression. So yeah, good stuff, Summer. Thank you. Let's check in with Jodelle and then maybe Harsh. Jodelle, how you doing?
Awesome. Hi. Yeah, good morning, everyone. Thanks so much, Justin. Yeah, as we're sitting here talking about return on investment, it's making me think about it in a different way with my consulting business now. I'm quite familiar with the ROI in my franchising business. We talk about it all the time, especially when they're bringing out new equipment and have to decide if it's, how fast I'm going to get my money back. So, the couple of things with ROI is you really want to understand your numbers and where you're at right now, and then what the cost of not doing the new thing or buying the new piece of equipment or whatever is going to cost you. But you have to have a way to measure it. So, return on investment is taking what you're already doing and then how much more it will earn you and how long that takes for how long or for how much it costs you. So, just really understanding like how to measure it, I think is really crucial because it's great to do something new and exciting and it feels good and maybe that's part of the ROI, but on paper, what does it really cost you and how long is it going to take you to make that money back and then actually start making money with that new thing. So yeah, I think just really understanding your numbers is crucial on ROI.
Yeah, good reminder there, Jodelle. And I'll be honest, it takes longer than we anticipate. And honestly, that's why I won't take on any clients for paid ads unless it's 4 months, 3 to 4 months minimum, right? 3 to 4 months minimum. Because if they're looking for ROI like in 30 days or less, they just need to be educated more, especially with organic or paid ads, right? It doesn't matter. Now, there's exceptions to the rule where I have one client right now where they started seeing return on investment the first month. That's usually not, that's an exception to the rule, okay? That usually doesn't happen very often. So when it does happen, like you need to really dissect that and find out why that was. And it was exactly, I know the reason. It was because they gave me a list of their buyers, their emails, and I got more lookalike audiences on Facebook that look like those buyers. And that's why the campaign was successful. The Facebook ads outperformed the Google ads in month 1. But now, here it is, month 2, and the Google ads are outperforming the Facebook ads. So that's the way things go. Guys, we can predict everything, we can try to predict everything we want, right? But at the end of the day, the data tells us everything, right? You have to be very data driven, right? So just understand that it takes, 90 days to see return on investment sometimes, and sometimes longer, right? Sometimes longer. Like with the Ronin community, it's taken like 6 months now, and now, the Ronin community, I'm bringing in about, well, no, I'm not bringing in, we're bringing in, right? We're bringing in about $360 a month now in monthly recurring revenue from the Revenue Ronin community, right? This is all thanks to you guys, right? This is all of us, right? The mission is very clear. Okay, 1,000 fellow Ronins on the journey towards sales and marketing mastery. 1,000, right? We're at 14 now, or 16. So we're building to 1,000, right? This movement is not stopping. Just because I have a full-time job, it doesn't matter. Like, the movement is continuing. So I appreciate you guys supporting the journey. I appreciate everyone who's contributing to their continued growth and success. And you may notice that I have a VA now, and she's reaching out to people on X, members, and we're building, we got some really great things in the works. Really great things in the works. We got stickers now, and we're working on a lot of things. So that's all I want to reveal. So stay tuned. And if you're not a member of the Revenue Running community, consider joining. Consider joining. And it starts at $20 a month. That's a very small investment for the value you're getting from all these daily spaces on sales and marketing mastery, with other fellow Ronins here, and prospective Ronins. So, but yeah, let's get to some hands here. I see Avery out there. Avery, good to see you. And Harsh, how are you? Good to see you, Harsh. What's happening?
Hey Justin, it's been like a long time I like came to X. So it's been like for me, it's been like for last 1 month I have been like traveling continuously from one city to another. And currently like I got a 3 day lapse. So I just came back to X to check out what's going on here. And yeah, about return on investment, there are two things on which I calculate ROI. The first thing is very calculative, very based on my time limits. I have set my own standards that okay, if it is going out of that zone, then obviously I don't like that. But one thing, the foundation, I that's the main part. That how do I calculate on foundational level? So every day, every night, whenever I go to sleep, I ask myself a question that if I am able to sleep peacefully, and if that thing, that investment or anything, because even if I'm talking to someone, I'm investing my time there. So if that investment is not letting me sleep peacefully, then it's a bad investment. For me, the return is not good. And if I am it if it is giving me peace, then it's awesome investment. And after that, like if it is giving me peace there, then I would take any x amount of time. Like even if that project takes like 10 years, I don't care, I will give that much time to that. So that's my standard to calculate ROI.
That's that's an interesting one, Harsh. I really appreciate that perspective, and yeah, how well you're sleeping, at the end of the day is yes, if you can sleep sound at night and have peace of mind for, um, your investment, is it's brilliant, right? And there's sometimes where, you know, hey, I lose sleep over, certain clients that I had maybe taken on in the past, and I'm like, oh man, I should not have taken on that client, right? And sometimes we need to be aware of this. I know the job father Justin down below, he's mentioned some similar situations where, look, you want to be able to Harsh's point, have peace of mind at the end of the day, and be able to sleep sleep well. And so if your clients are not a good fit, right? If you can't correct the situation, that can be very problematic, right, for you, and you can lose sleep and stuff like that. So um, I appreciate Harsh's perspective, and yeah, at the end of the day, look, we want to do things in full integrity, right? We got to stay in integrity with ourselves, with our clients, with our, all the relationships we have. And so always stay in integrity, right? You'll sleep better at night. And so, yeah, good stuff, Harsh. Let's go to Timo.
Yeah, and one good point when you are getting into something and figuring out the ROI, look into the expected ROI. Like best lessons for this was back in the days of my online poker career when I was moving between normal speed turbos and hyper turbos on the sit and go tournaments, and the you always had to run calculations on the fact that when you do hyper turbos you will get faster games, more volume, but the ROI goes down because there's more variance, because the blinds go up so fast. And when you're playing like $15, $7 games, you're putting in 100 to 200 games per day or per session. You're putting in thousands of dollars, basically within like tens of thousands of dollars within a week. And so you really want to calculate the ROI, which one you should choose, and not to go in and just head first, because we all have most likely a lot higher expectations on how the results will be. So Google it, Grok it, ChatGPT it, whatever, but look into the market that you are entering and what kind of ROI you are looking to get. So you are not going in there thinking you're going to get 80% ROI and then you're getting 8 and then you're just panicking like what's happening. I mean, in the hyper turbos, the ROI was like 1 to 2%, when on the normal games it was up to 10 to 20, but you would get like one game within the same time where you would get 10, and when you were 4 tabling you would get 40 versus 4. So you really had to calculate which was better. But yeah, Avery has his hand up.
Yeah, hey, Avery, how you doing, man?
Justin, good to see you. Christelle, Kevin, Jodelle, awesome stuff, guys. Really love what you're doing, Justin. I just wanted to say something really quick. Just in terms of ROI, right? It's really easy to get caught up in the numbers. It's really easy to get, the metrics and all these things. But the number one thing, at least in my entire, business career, has always just been the experience of the clients you have right in front of you that you have an informational advantage with. And what does that look like? That's truly where the ROI has made. I've gotten massive ROI from, is just making sure that the touch points with the current clients that I'm able to get are maximized to the highest level of experience, because I have had spine surgeons that have referred me to other spine surgeons, and I've had them for clients for years. And so it's, what do you think is better, to have 100 clients that go, oh yeah, this, is a pretty good experience, or 5 clients that were like, dude, you go to him, he's going to take care of you. What's the ROI for you in that scenario? And I think that's really important to think about. I mean, if you don't have the systems built to have the touch point with the client from onboarding all the way to offboarding, and they don't feel like it's been a premium high level experience, then I mean, you should focus on that, because that's going to give you a massive, massive ROI in comparison to, and yes, of course, I don't want to downplay the data and the finances and all that stuff too, but just take a look, right? A lot of people that I talk to, especially on X, they get the offer. The offer's good. Yes, that looks awesome. But then it's everything else in the systems around that offer that's going to provide that premium experience for a client, and that's going to be giving you massive ROI. So I just wanted that touch point. I love what you guys are doing, Justin. I commend you, man. Really, really solid. You know, the other thing that I really appreciate about Justin, Kevin, Christelle, is this the consistency? You guys are consistently providing value here on the space, and so I see you every morning. A little purple pill. I'm like, I bet you it's Justin and the Ronin crew, and I would say about 8 out of 10 times I'm right. So thanks, guys.
Yeah, thank you, Avery. Appreciate you stopping by, man. And yeah, you missed recently we were talking marketing automation. I would have loved to have you part of that. We had to do 2 days. It was so big. So so yeah, but great to see you, Avery. And yeah, like don't discount the return on experience, right? I think that's the other return on experience that you're talking about. And hopefully you don't have offboarding, right? Hopefully you have onboarding and they stick for many years to come, like you have, Avery, and you pointed out. And yeah, like I think my longest client ever for my social media marketing, my marketing agency, was and Ani will love this, it was about 7 years. 7 years I had a client paying me. When COVID hit, I lost them because they lost business, right? They provided chiropractic malpractice insurance. I was running Facebook ads for them, organic and paid, and also SEO, and the whole 9 yards. I was doing additional benefits, email marketing. I was doing a lot for them. Anyways, they were a great client, and I had them for 7 years. And if you look at the data, the average client lifespan in the marketing agency space is 2 years. Like that's, if you can keep a client for 2 years, like you're winning, right? You're winning. And it's a lot to keep clients happy, to deliver a return on investment and a positive experience, right? Like it's challenging, right? The easy part, we think the sales part is easy, right? We think it's easy, or sorry, we think the sales part, yeah, is hard. It's not. The sales part is easy. What's really hard is keeping a client for 2 years. That's the hard part. Okay, that's the hard part. So if you can get to Avery's point, if you can make sure it's a very seamless onboarding experience and you wow them, right? If you want to read a great book called Delivering Happiness by Tony Hsieh, okay, rest in peace to him. Um, he sold his company to Amazon for $1 billion, Zappos. Okay, he knows something about wowing customers, okay? So if you want a masterclass, read that book. But the point is, and I'll summarize the book for you, it's all about wowing your customers, right? Just wowing them, doing unexpected things, right? Going above and beyond to over deliver on the experience side, but also on the fulfillment side. And if you can do that, you will have clients for life. And that's ultimately what we all want, right? We want clients for life. And my vision for the Revenue Running community is, look, we're going to continue the journey towards 1,000, right? That's it. That's the mission. And so we're going to stay on this course. We're going to do spaces every day. We're going to teach sales and marketing mastery. We're going to do mini MBA master classes every day. So I appreciate you guys sticking with me, and my awesome co-hosts Kevin and Andy and Timo, and Christelle. I consider her a co-host as well, and I just appreciate you guys being here and showing up. So we're gonna go for another 20 minutes here. So just plan accordingly. We're going into bonus time. So if you want to come up, raise your hand. We'll get you on stage. Go ahead, Andy.
And if you need bonus time because you're running out of time yourself, make sure that you connect with our sponsor, Virtual Synergies. $9 an hour virtual assistants, highly trained, highly all that awesome stuff. So go there and make sure that you connect with Virtual Synergies. They have a free form you just fill out, and then they can help match you directly with people who can help you with your business.
Awesome. Thank you, Andy. Could you drop that form in the chat, perhaps?
It It's a web form on their webpage. When you go to if you hit their link, it says, hey, if you're interested, click here, and then it's got a form. Do you do this? Do you want this? Do you want this? You just fill that out and hit the button, and then they'll reach out to you.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah, I gotta get that link. Well, welcome to the stage, Tim. To see you. Let's check in with Jodelle, and then we're gonna go to Estelle. Jodelle, go for it.
Awesome, thanks. Yeah, I just wanted to add one more thing with ROI. If you're just getting your money back, then that's a lot of work to just break even. So we want to think about like further on down the road after ROI, we want to have a lasting impact. Is it going to have sustainable growth? We don't want to put in all that effort just to break even. So I think it also speaks to your point about creating great experiences for the customers and really building something beyond just the ROI. That should not be the goal. The goal is what happens after that. Thanks for letting me speak again.
Yeah, thanks, Jodelle. So, and I wanna you reminded me of something. So, in the investment world, and this isn't investment advice. I'm not a certified financial planner, but I can speak to this somewhat intelligently. So there's return on investment and then there's return of investment. All right. So these are two different aspects. So when you're, doing a real estate deal or you do a business deal or fill in the blank, right? You want to consider, okay, what is going to be my return on investment? And then what's going to be my return of investment, right? So if you put in 10,000, right, there's a certain period of time goes by. Am I going to get that 10,000 back? Great. And then what's my return on that 10,000? Do I make 2,000? Right. So two different aspects to consider when it comes to return on investment and return of investment. Very critical to understand that. So yeah, let's go to, Christelle dropped down. Okay, Christelle, feel free to come back. We got 15 minutes left, but yeah, let's check in with Tim. Tim, how you doing, man?
I'm good, good, good. Thanks for the mic. Just here to support the group and everything that you're doing here for the platform. Of course, hats off to you, Kevin, and my good friend Andy here. So yes, with that out of the way, this is a good question. How do you measure ROI? And I'm not going to repeat a lot of what others said, and I think. But one thing I wanted to touch on is, the whole you could say customer satisfaction element, and more specifically aligning your business, if your business is in the more premium tier, let's say, of offerings, and being able to align business with customers, right? So supposing you are a business with that premium tier offering, would you buy ad space on a billboard, a bus stop, or other, publicly available space? It's just something I want to invite the audience to think about. This is not a this is not a trick question. The answer is no, because what you're going to be doing is you're going to be attracting people that, generally speaking, by and large, would be interested in your services if you provide it as cheap as possible. And that, if again, I want to be a bit careful here, if your business is in the business of providing quality service, in other words, premium tier service or product, you don't actually want to be competing. You don't want to be, let me backtrack. You don't want to be attracting potential customers that are in it because they're just interested in paying the lowest possible dollar, right? That's a misalignment of your business offering and the potential customers. And it's, at the end of the day, is going to manifest itself in, let's say, a poor ROI in terms of advertising money, right? So that's just something to think about. And for whatever it's worth, not business advice. This is ultimately your life and your business. But in my personal opinion, I think if you compete purely on price alone, competitors absolutely will undercut you eventually, right? There could be people in your city beyond your city, right? Especially when we're talking about online offerings, whereby they can offshore a lot of the cost elements of your business, and they will absolutely undercut you. It's a bad business model, in my opinion. And in the long term, it's just going to be, you're going to be working longer hours for less money, and your competitors, if you don't have any competitors yet, people that start to see your business be successful, they will copy your business, they will reverse engineer it, they're going to offshore a lot of the key elements of what you're doing to other people, and you will absolutely be undercut. I've seen this time and time again, even in the physical world. I'm speaking specifically in the construction industry. Construction companies that, just, admittedly, the construction industry is a very, let's say, a cutthroat industry where margins are thin, especially in the residential and commercial spaces. But if that is your core offering, whether it be physical products or services or virtual, if you're competing purely or mostly, let's say 80% on price alone, you will absolutely be undercut eventually. And that's just not a good, it does not bode well for you mentally or physically or financially in the long run.
Yeah, thanks, Tim, for that. Tim, we'll call that Tim time. I love that. I love that Tim time because yeah, those are definitely good points you bring up. So there's a book, Blue Ocean Strategy. I suggest you read it. It really hints on what Tim has mentioned here. It's like, if you want to create a blue ocean strategy for your business, right? The red ocean is very competitive, right? It's shark infested. You're competing on price, right? But this is why the importance of a brand is really important, right? Because people get attracted to brands emotionally, right? As opposed to, that's why people buy premium products, right? Because they're attracted to the brand. And so you need to build your brand. And here's, just to share with you a use case, right? So when I worked at the last startup I worked at, called PetDX, here in San Diego, is a biotech company, and we did early cancer detection tests for dogs via blood draw. So we could detect 30 cancers in the blood before clinical signs. Amazing product. And we went to conferences, and everyone was like, man, we see you guys everywhere. We love your, pink fuchsia colors and purple, and, you guys really stand out. We see you guys everywhere online. Like, who's doing your marketing? Right? And that was because I was just blowing us up everywhere, right? So they could not ignore us, right? So if you were a veterinarian, like, you knew PetDX, right? Why? Because I blanketed the entire digital space with Facebook ads, with, email marketing, with, fill in the blank, right? And so when you have that type of brand authority, right? When you go to a conference and they're like, man, we see you guys everywhere. That's what you want. That's what you want, right? When you go on X, right, and you see, well, Andy's speaking again. I got to run into the room, right? That's what you want. That's building a brand, right? And it's the long game. It's the long game, okay? It's not, you're not competing on price, right? You're competing on your authority, your brand, and brand is all emotional.
It's a value. It's always a value proposition. Always, 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 100% of the time. Well, thank you, Oscar. Appreciate that. Yes, that's right. It is a value proposition 100% of the time, always. What Tim was describing is, the race to the bottom of, it's free. But the problem with free is then the value doesn't equate to what you think it is, what you're willing to absorb that thing. So think of it if you think of it in a different way, you can say, my ROI is if you listen to Andy, you get stuff more dense, it goes faster, and I can decrease the time to go from where you are now to the mindset you want in a shorter period of time. So you can go twice as fast. You can do it yourself and it'll take whatever time it takes. If you listen to me, it'll go faster. If you listen to Tim and you want to buy a company, it'll go faster. If you want to do sales and marketing, you listen to Justin, it'll go faster. If you want to do copywriting, you can listen to Kevin, it'll go faster. right? Or either faster or it's worth twice as much because it's it's even better. And as a bonus, if you listen to Justin talking about sales and marketing and you do what he says, you're removing risk. You're getting there faster. It's twice as valuable and you're removing the risk. If you can listen, it, life is not difficult. It's simple, but it's hard to execute. And here's why it's hard to execute. Because your value has to be, I can make it faster for you, I can make it more valuable for you, and I can remove the risk. Because there is not one thing anybody is saying right now or in any of the recording that is any different than anybody else is saying. However, you don't know what to do. We all know what to do. We don't know how to do it. And if we learn how to do it right, we learn how to create a community and a newsletter with Christelle, and then we use Justin's marketing, and then we use Kevin's copywriting to drive it, and then we use Andy's mindset to hit the targets faster, more in the center, and with more frequency. Now, all of us together create an opportunity to just amplify and 10, 12, 100x our success. That's where it's at. Okay. Just to, you want to, that's the target. That's what we're shooting at. That is why it's so hard. But that is also why if you keep coming every single day, you'll hear it, you'll feel it, it will start to become part of you. When it becomes part of you, now you will start to make better and better and better decisions, right? Decreasing that time of knowledge, increasing your likelihood of success, and removing the risk of doing stupid things and spending money where that doesn't help you. Okay, back to you, Justin.
Yeah, thanks, Andy. Let's go to Christelle here. Christelle.
Hi, I just wanted to build off of what Avery was saying about how important the customer experience is. And I just wanted to share something that happened yesterday with one of the best clients I've ever had. I mean, she's absolutely amazing, but we had this eek moment where we finished the first part of her project, and it's supposed to be a 6-month project plan. And what I do is I will front load to deliver most of the value in the beginning. And because she's a repeat client, I allowed her to do a payment plan where she was kind of like, okay, so I just kind of want to stop here for a little bit, and we can get back to doing the other work later, which basically meant that she was not going to continue paying me. And this is a client who I love dearly. I mean, we have become very, very good friends. And so what I did, and all of this is a lesson that I just wanted to share with you all. I went back to our agreement, okay? And I said, hey, listen, we're in month 2 of a 6-month agreement. The agreement is for $3,000, and I agreed to allow you to get on a payment plan for that. But the work that I've delivered to you, even though I delivered it in the first 2 months, this is really 80% of what you're paying for, and you have not paid 80% of your agreement. And she came back around and said, "Oh my goodness, I'm so sorry. I have to admit, I did not read the agreement very thoroughly. I just kind of quickly went through it. And even though we did talk about this verbally, okay, so it's not like everything that was written in the agreement was something that we did go through verbally. So it's not like this is news, but she's got a lot going on and it happens. Clients get busy with their own life. And she turned around and was like, no, absolutely. I want to continue. Please forgive me. Thank you for your patience. So it turned around and it was fine. I've had this happen before and it did not go fine. And it's because I did not have an agreement. So, one thing I just wanted to come and share that lesson with you all. I don't care how much you like a client, I don't care how close you are, I don't care how much you two are sisters in Christ. Please, please, for the love of everything holy, and actually to protect your relationship, have a written agreement. Have a written agreement, because if we did not have that written agreement, this would have been a really tough conversation for me to have, and I would have lost a lot of trust, and it would have just been we still would have worked it out, but not nearly as easily as, "Hey, listen, we're in month 2 of a 6-month agreement, and the total cost of this is $3,000, and you've only paid this amount, and I've given you 80% of the work." So yeah, I just wanted to share that with you all. Please make sure as you're taking on clients that you are And I'm using ChatGPT to create the agreement. Okay. So it does not have to be something that you stress over. Go to ChatGPT. ChatGPT will give you a beautiful agreement. So yeah, I just wanted to share that lesson that I had yesterday.
Yeah, thanks, Christelle. That's a big one. Yeah, that's a big one. Always make sure you have your agreements in place. And yeah, like the reality is, these types of things happen more often than not. That's the reality after working with thousands of over 1,000 clients in both my businesses and the employers. Like I've worked with over 1,000 companies, and this happens more than we more than we think. So, things come up, life happens, and everything is negotiable. Here's the pro tip, okay? Everything in life is negotiable. Everything, right? So just know that, and we're emotional people, right? But at the same time, we have, we're providers, right? Like Christelle, has a family, like she's a provider, right? I'm a provider, right? We're all providers here, right? So we're doing an exchange of goods and services, so it's business at the end of the day, right? Can you like your customers? Absolutely. Can you, be friends with your customers? Absolutely. But at the end of the day, like we're running businesses here, right? We're running businesses, and they can be difficult and challenging to navigate, which is why you have the agreement in place. And if negotiations need to happen, if conversations need to take place, adjustments need to occur, then that's fine. But have a conversation about it, and know that you do have an agreement in place. So um, well, thank you for that, Christelle. We're coming to the end of the space here, so I'm gonna go final word here. Sorry, Brooklyn Brawler. Sorry, Amanda. We gotta sign off now, but come back on Monday. We'll be here again, and let's go final word to Andy, then Kevin, and then I'm gonna sign off. But yeah, keep it to like 20 seconds. Thanks, guys.
Well, it is Good Friday, and for those of you who are Christians, enjoy this week. It's a wonderful weekend, and if you're not, then I encourage you to consider it. And if you're going to measure ROI, that means that you're measuring something, right? So if you're going to take control of your life, you have to measure things so that you can say, I was here and I want to go there. You can't do that if you're guessing. So you need to measure stuff. So that's my week was about let's measure interesting things and help figure out how we can move stuff forward. So you guys have a wonderful week and a happy Easter on Sunday.
Yeah, happy Easter to you, Andy, and everyone. Have a great Easter. Looks like Kevin dropped down, so happy Easter to you, Kevin. And yeah, guys, another great one for the books. Enjoy the weekend. We'll be back again on Monday in the Startup Circle for another edition of Sales Marketing Mastery. At the end of our lives, we'll ask ourselves 4 simple questions. Did I live? Did I love? Did I matter? And did I make a difference? Until next time, keep making a difference. Build that mind, build that body, build that business, build that bank account, but most importantly, build that legacy. So stay hungry and stay humble. We'll see you guys at the top. And if you want to keep growing, you better call the Revenue Ronin and check out our sponsor, Virtual Synergy. Get a VA for $9 an hour. I use them. My VA works 20 hours a week, and she's been great. So much love, guys. Have a great weekend, and finish the week strong, and make it a productive, but most importantly, profitable day. Take care.